in your pocket. If you have not learned anything, learn that one now. If you start with how much is it, that means there is a boundary to what you can pay. So since I learned that lesson, there was a time I took one of those days, emphasis on when I was still single, before some of you call my wife now. When I was still single, I took her on a date. And when we sat down in that restaurant, and I opened the menu, same like that store, there were no prices on it. I said, this is like those places, I don't enter Wala today. Well, I just stayed there, but I knew that the bill was something else. Because I was impressing her, I felt it. So, gentlemen, any restaurant, you know these women, they know restaurants more than us. Anywhere they take you to, and you open the menu, you don't find bill. Hey, just say you're a vegetarian. And run away. So they are not normal restaurants. Those restaurants are the ones that they expect that when it's $2,000 for a plate, you're going to pay it. Why am I saying all this? It's bringing it down to what I want to talk to you about today. Price. Tend to become the experience you gathered, the story, everything you guys went through. Like I said, our honorable is here sitting here. Some people do not know the price you have paid. They just say honorable. They don't know the price of what you have invested in yourself, the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, the impact, what you have given to humanity, and of course what you have given to modern Africa. That is what qualifies you for where you sit. So don't get it twisted that when you see successful people and you wonder why is it the only one? They don't know the price that you have paid, and that's what makes you expensive. The impact, pricing. Now, pricing into humanity is what is, and of course, what you have given into modern Africa. That is what qualifies you as you as a regard. So don't get it twisted that when you see successful people, you wonder why is it very important? Why is it the only one? They don't know the price that you have paid, and that's what makes you expensive. It's not just what you do, but it's what you paid to become what you have become. Now, pricing, I don't know if it's what is visible, and that is how people will evaluate you, because pricing is the receipt of the price you have paid. So when people look at you, they price you high because they can see that you have paid the price. Now the last aspect is the perception. How the world look at you. That perception, so when people look at you, they price you high because they can see that you have paid the price. Now the last aspect is the perception. How the world look at you. That perception is who you are, what you do, where you are, the kind of rooms you are in. Whether you like it or not, because you are in this room today, there's a perception about you that has changed. Some people that they don't know about you being global before, now know that you're a global person. If I'm speaking to that person, say I am the one. People that do not recognize that your brand is global before, the perception has now changed. And that is where I'm narrowing it down to, because that is exactly what the GEF is about. It's about people putting people in a room, those that have paid the price, with the right pricing to create a perception to the world out there. That is the room. And if you are not in that room, then what perception are you creating exactly? Because your perception is also about the impact that you have made. Some of us are doing well in our corner, and you are happy to be in that corner. You are a local champion, and you think that is where the world ends. It is called a global village for a reason. If your boundary do not know you, and your borders are not aware of you, how then will the countries next to know that you exist? If you're a local champion in Ghana or in Africa, what is carrying you to climb the global stage? I challenge you all today. This is your best opportunity to change that perception. In being in rooms where global leaders and global giants will be present, and you can make tremendous impact. Let us not forget that the perception also comes with a kind of legacy that you build. Some of us are successful to our own pockets. And some of us will say, you know what, I don't have much. How can I make an impact? My late mom will say, true generosity is your ability to give when you don't have. So you don't have to be successful before you can make a difference in Africa. You don't have to be successful before you can give to Africa. So please, I call on you all today, especially some of us who believe in, I can do well here. The world is bigger than your community. It's bigger than your nation. And the world needs to hear your voice. If there's one thing that you need to take home today, I see somebody's on their phone, or maybe you're taking notes, but do not miss it, because you did not come here for a press conference or a global mixer. They call me an entrepreneurial prophet because I release some messages sometimes. And one of the things I will release to you today is, this is the time that your brand needs to go global. Do you believe it? Then why are you not clapping? Guys, the Global Entrepreneurship Festival is for people who have paid the price, who have invested in themselves and invested in humanity. They've done so many sacrifices to make our world a better place. And I can tell you for sure, like I said to my brother just now, there's nothing as beautiful as meeting a vision partner. When I was in South Africa, I said that no product is cheap. It depends on, no product is expensive. It depends on where you are selling it. So all those products and your brand that people say is expensive here is the audience that is looking at it. When you go to the right room, that product that you are selling that is expensive will look cheap in that room. So you need to be in the right room where the right networks are and where those that can afford your brand can be. Now, the festival, like Mr. Chairman said, is happening during the Global Entrepreneurship Week. A 3-day event that has 12 events all in one is the biggest entrepreneurship destination event in the world. What do I mean by this? This is an event where networking is made easier. I was speaking in Davos in Switzerland, even in Geneva during the World Trade Organization. Most big events, global partner in New York. Destination events is always easier to network. You know why? Even the president of country, nobody's going anywhere. All the HNIs you're looking for in the world, if you want to catch them, for those of us who are startups in the room, just lodge in the hotel that they are lodging. Big men don't miss their breakfast. Ask my brother there. They like their breakfast. So wait for them in the lift, you will connect with them at the breakfast. Destination event gives you the opportunity to be free and open. At the festival, if you do not connect during the opening conference, we have the Global Leadership Forum, we have the International Women Conference, we have the closing concerts where people are even more free. That gives you the opportunity to network and connect. And I always say, in that friendly atmosphere, sometimes is the easiest place to close a deal. Someone like Bolare, catch him where he's dancing, he will sign that proposal. Mr. Chairman, I'm allowed, sir. Especially when you give us some wine along that time. We will not go do them again. We will say it is approved. Guys, you might then wonder, how is it that the Global Entrepreneurship Festival came to Africa? It is people like you and I who believe in the continent of Africa, who did not price Africa low. Some of us are here. You would see a brand made in Ghana, and when you call the price, you say, it's too expensive. But you buy far more than that abroad, even for lesser quality. You are pricing Africa. The first property I ever bought in my life was in Johannesburg, in South Africa, in a neighborhood called Olivedale. Very expensive suburb, and you can never find an empty land there, but by God's grace, I found an empty land. But on that land, I found something different. I ate lemon. I don't even know why some people like it's bitter. How do you like something that is bitter like that? So I don't understand why people enjoy lemon. But on that land, there was a lemon tree. And I was going through the land and I saw that tree. I'm like, wow, my land. You know when you have also, you now bought your first land. I'm like, lemon tree. I plucked it, cut it open, and I squeezed it in my mouth. It was sweet. You know why? That was the day I released the quote that says, listen carefully, investment is like farming. There's no better feeling than harvesting your own land. A lemon tree that used to be bitter tasted sweet because it was on my land. You have not enjoyed investment until you invest in Africa. there's a different feeling than that you get when you invest in Africa. And of course, you invest in Africans. Because these entrepreneurs you see right here, they are pregnant with amazing ideas and innovation that will not just liberate the continent of Africa, but also liberate your own pockets as an investor. So I encourage you, not underestimate the person sitting next to you. Speak to them. I always say to people, there's something I teach. I call it the Joseph reference. I pity some of you that rush and go. You miss it. The way we meet is in rooms like this, and because we did not underestimate anyone. Joseph reference, should I tell you about it? You want to know? You might look at the guy sitting next to you and say he's not wearing a suit. Or look at the lady and say she's not wearing a wig. But remember something. A prisoner referenced Joseph on the palace. She does not need to be expensive before she's in a room where they will need your products. And all she needs to say is, oh, I know Victoria that sells this thing, and your story changes. So network with every single goddamn person next to you, because they might not buy from you, but they will be in a room where somebody needs to buy from you. Am I making sense? The festival gives you that opportunity, and I encourage all of you once again, invest in Africa, invest in Africans. I use this opportunity once again to invite you all to Ondo State, to the Entrepreneurship Village, Africa, Silicon Valley in Nigeria. Our state has been programmed for investors. My governor, my leader, with his agenda, our ease, has made it very, very easy for businesses to thrive. And I can assure you that come November 2025, you have the biggest, and if not the best experience you've ever had at an event, with the kind of deals, networks, and partnership that will be formed. Once again, create the right perception out there. Work on your pricing by paying the right price. Some of you cannot afford success. Success is not cheap. It needs sacrifice. And even the beggars know it. That is why in my book there, at the back, you find a book of mine titled The Beggar's Money. In that book, I showed you how you can learn from a beggar. A beggar will strategically position themselves in front of a mosque, so that when you come out, you know where your imam has preached to you, and your pastor has preached to you. It's easy to give. It's called positioning. Position yourself where world leaders will be, the big names of this world will be, so that by the time they come out, they will find you there. My name is Sumi Smart Francis, and I am nothing without God. Thank you very much.
I think that speech definitely deserves another round of applause. Please let us celebrate the Global Entrepreneurship Festival Project Lead. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, I told you earlier that he is not an ordinary man, and I'm sure you understand why I said so right now. Thank you so, so much, Dr. Sumi Smart Francis, for that amazing speech. I mean, anytime he speaks, I'm totally blown away because his wealth of knowledge keeps flowing. And of course, he mentioned something about the beggars, and he has a powerful, powerful piece which is called or titled The Beggar's Money, and it is made available at the entrance for you to be able to grab a copy. I mean, I have a copy of the book myself, and I must tell you, it's such an extraordinary piece. You need to read it yourself to understand what I'm talking about. Just imagine learning from a beggar. I think you need to read that book to understand what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. Of course, it is going to be autographed personally by Dr. Sumi Smart Francis for you. Well, Ghana, you've heard it all. Your entrepreneurs, your innovators, your creators all have a powerful, powerful voice. And there is really no better platform to amplify that voice than the Global Entrepreneurship Festival. This is not just another conference. It is a life-changing and business-shaping event. By attending the Global Entrepreneurship Festival, just as Dr. Sumi buttressed, you will be unlocking the door to global networking opportunities, as you have the opportunity to connect and network directly with like-minded entrepreneurs, innovators, change makers, leaders, policy makers from all across the world. I mean, apart from that, let us not forget the powerful and meaningful relationships and friendships which have been forged and are going to be forged from the Global Entrepreneurship Festival. In terms of market exposure, you're definitely going to be able to expose yourself and your brand to a global audience at the Global Entrepreneurship Festival. And these are just a few amongst a wide array of opportunities that will be made available to you at the Global Entrepreneurship Festival. At this moment, I hope and we hope to see Ghana hugely represented at the Global Entrepreneurship Festival. If you're with me on that, can we hear a loud round of applause for that? Thank you so much. Well, I have my co-host with me right away, and I'm sure he has a few things to share with you. I would like to hand over to him at this moment. Thank you, Mr. Nathaniel.
Thank you very much, Barrister Emanuela. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this time I'd like to make some key acknowledgements as we go along and as we look forward to the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding amongst the board members of the Global Entrepreneurship Festival. It's my pleasure to acknowledge the presence of the CEO and founder, as well as board chair of Bills Microfinance, Mr. Richard Ni-Amakwe. Shall we do a big round of applause for him? Mr. Richard Ni-Amakwe also happens to be a recipient of the Special Award in Finance from the last 3 editions of the 30 Under 30 Awards, of which I was Master of Ceremony. Shall we do it for him one more time? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of His Excellency Ashad Razali, who is the EU Ambassador to Ghana. Shall we do a big round of applause for him? His Excellency Ashad Razali has also been in the forefront of bringing together the diplomatic community in pushing together ideas such as these and making sure that the diplomatic community, especially those with the muscle for investment and driving trade, are all a part of ideas such as these. We're very grateful to you, Your Excellency, for your attendance. We'd also duly like to acknowledge the presence of the team from MTN Ghana. A big round of applause for them, ladies and gentlemen. And also this morning, the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Honorable Esther Fosu-Jare, Elizabeth Fosu-Jare, I beg your pardon, could have been here with us this morning, but of course other matters of state are pulling her attention right now, and she has duly nominated Dr. John Hawkins Esiedu, the technical advisor to the ministry, as a representative here. We're also grateful to the Vice Board Chairman of the Global Entrepreneurship Festival Ghana, Lawyer Elsie Apau-Klu. Shall we do a big round of applause for her? Lawyer Elsie Apau-Klu wears many cloaks, including being the president of the Women's Economic Forum Ghana. She's also a seasoned legal practitioner. Madam, we're very grateful to you for your presence here this morning. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this time I'd like to hand over to Barrister Emanuela and Victoria, who is a board member, for overseeing the very special Memorandum of Understanding signing. Shall we put our hands together for them?
Thank you very much, Mr. Nathaniel. So I'd like to share something very, very quickly with everyone. I mean, when I was younger, much younger, I used to watch a lot of Ghanaian movies. And at night, I would just dream that, okay, I'm getting married to a Ghanaian man. But now that I'm here today in Ghana for the first time, I mean, I don't know about it, but I mean, today I'm here for work, but at the Global Entrepreneurship Festival, we're going to be having the closing concert. And of course, that is not just an opportunity to network business-wise, it is also an opportunity to get to meet your future husband or your future wife. I'm not just saying this for myself, but I mean, I'm sure that I'm helping other people in the audience. Thank you so much, Mr. Nathaniel, for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on the next agenda for today's press conference, we would now like to move on to the MOU signing ceremony. This is a global movement, and every single day we partner, or we are partnering with organizations and companies who align greatly with the vision. And today we have two of our strong partners who are present to sign the MOU for the partnership towards the Global Entrepreneurship Festival. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to hold on with the MOU signing, and I'll now like to call back on stage my co-host in the person of Mr. Nathaniel. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And of course, on a very light note, I did realize that some of the gentlemen here who do not have any marks on the significant finger were sitting properly and trying to fix their shirts when she was talking about, you know, possibly getting a Ghanaian husband. Well, we'll talk about all of that when all is done. But distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this time it gives me great pleasure to welcome here a good friend of Ghana and a man who has a lot in terms of vision for bringing lots of energies together to promote trade and to promote entrepreneurship. My pleasure to welcome upstage for a word of goodwill for this festival. Shall we welcome once again His Excellency Eshad Razali, the EU Ambassador to Ghana, for his message of goodwill.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I'm very happy and honored to be associated with this extraordinary event. I will not take long because I was amazed and inspired by what you have said, sir. And I will just allow myself to quote you, with your permission. As you know, I've been working here for some time now. We are good friends with Bonare, but we are working together because we believe in what he does. We believe in his vision in supporting entrepreneurship. Every morning, most of the Ghanaian youngsters and most of the African youngsters, when they wake up, one of their concern in the back of their mind is access to job, access to market, and how to make a difference. It is not about being an active part and an active driver for change for the community, for the continent, and for the world. And we believe in that. And let me quote that as the European Union in Ghana and in Africa, not only we are investing in Africa, but we are investing in Africans. And I think for the rest of my tenure in Ghana, or for my next assignment in Africa, I will use this quote, sir, because I think this is powerful. We are not investing in a place, we are investing in people.